Oi. So what's up next?
Oh, we can talk about one of the best heroes.
I got you.
No, we're not doing that. Nope.
Then how about
No, not him either.
Hmm.
Do you even know what it means to be a true hero?
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
Let's just start the video. Hey, what's up, guys? On this episode of Feeling Like, we're going to be diving into a fantasy world.
And that fantasy world being the anime, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in the dungeon?
Or Danmachi. Now, like our previous Feeling Like episodes, we break down each episode into 4 separate parts. The first part being the genres of the anime that we're talking about. The second being a very short summary of the anime itself. Third one being a teaser to the anime, and the fourth part is what we call lOsTAKUS critique.
So part number 1, what we consider the main genre to be of this anime is what Eric said blatantly in the beginning of the video. It's a fantasy. So, fantasy.
Now, the subgenres for Danmachi include action, romance, comedy, harem, drama, and adventure.
Nah.
What you mean?
None of that. That is a pointless genre, because no matter what medium that story is, every story you read, see, or watch should be an adventure, because if not, what's the point? Now, its title, Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon, can be very misleading. And the tag, harem, also misleading. And I think this is why when it first came out in 2015, it wasn't as popular, probably because the title was very misleading. But trust me, guys, that when I say, don't judge a book by its cover.
Now on to part numero dos, the short summary.
In this story, we have our main protagonist, Belle. Now, Belle was raised in the boonies, away from civilization, with his grandpa. Now, the title, Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon, is basically the emphasis of why our boy Belle begins his journey. Because he had a grandpa who raised him that asked him this one question one day. What is the point in a man's life, if not to save the damsel in distress and build a harem? And this was grinded into Belle's life from that day forth. And then one day, his grandpa dies. So Belle decides to go into the city to make what his grandpa told him and taught him into a reality. But boy, does it not go as planned. Because the right question that should have been asked is, what does it mean to be a hero?
Now on to part numero tres, the teaser.
So in this world, we have gods who in their immortal, whimsical life got bored. And then one of them asked, why don't we check what the humans are doing? So they did, and they came down to the human material plane. They were like, hey humans, what are you up to?
Nothing, we just chilling here.
Funny enough, so are we. So how about we make this dungeon, and we give y'all magical powers with our blessings, and y'all go and entertain us.
So why go into it, Jim?
For magical stones.
What do I do with these magical stones? They have no value to me.
They're called magical stones. They're gonna do magical things.
Yeah, I need a little bit more than that.
Okay, how about you can exchange magical stones for money?
Oh, bet money. Okay, yeah. I'll go ahead and dive into these deep and dangerous dungeons that might cost me my life, but for money, okay, I'm down.
And that's how the basis premise of this world started. With that came the formation of the familias, guilds, groups, or whatever you want to call them, basically led by gods. So when gods choose humans to join their familia, they offer them their power that the gods have, or a blessing, in which a human is granted magical powers or enhanced strength, that way they could develop them. So let's say you're a god and you have your familia. Now, we are leading our own familia, and they're basically like our children. So you want to protect them and guide them correctly, right? Now what happens when a god wants a child from your familia. Yeah.
No.
That's the dilemma that our boy Bell will find himself in.
So if at any point in the video the anime has caught your interest, go ahead and stop the video, go watch the anime, because we've done our job. If not, maybe next time. On to part numero 4, lOsTAKUS critique.
If you watch animes and you're like, even though the protagonist is sometimes like weaker, fairy tale, I hate to give that example, but fairy tale, right? The power of friendship, where Natsu, from out of nowhere, comes back and beats up a villain that he couldn't before without no training or anything like that. But you know, there's some animes, a lot of animes that do it, but just fairy tale is what I usually see as the biggest example used for that. So in most animes, that don't make sense. But in Danmachi, it will make sense, because even though Bell is weaker than some of his opponents, because his overall stat points, his overall accumulation of experience may be higher, even though he's ranked weaker than someone, then he is still able to defeat him. So that makes sense, and I appreciate that.
So one of the things that I really like about Danmachi is that it differs in like traditional anime, to where usually you have the main protagonist looks up to somebody like an idol or like another hero or something like that, and they try to be like them. More often than not, it's a guy. But in this case, with our boy Bell-kun, he gets saved in the very first episode by a woman, and he starts looking up to her, and I thought that was really, really dope. The girl in question is Eyes Valen something-its. What was it? Wallenstein, whatever. But that's the really cool thing about Danmachi, is that you have a strong female helping the character grow. So I thought it was really cool.
Or more like a strong female who is actually the main character, who is a guy, be the goal of why he wants to become stronger. Because he wants to get close to her strength. Which is, again, different. Because usually, like he said, in animes, it's usually if the protagonist, whatever sex they are, they will usually have someone they look up to of the same sex, but even more rare so when it's a guy looking up to a female character. So here's the thing about it being a harem show. The best thing about it being a harem show, quote unquote, is because almost all the people that support him or that really have his back are all females. And they are all pretty powerful in their own right, or very supportive in one way or another. Like, for instance, we have Aina, who is the receptionist, who is basically his overseer, who gives him quests to go to. And she is basically the big sister for him. Of course, our boy Bell is young, so almost everybody else is older than him. Even Lily, who you see here, lowly, but she's actually older than Bell still.
Yeah. Another one of the cool things that I really like about Danmachi is the whole familia system. The fact that each god has different families and each family focuses on different things that they want for their kids is really, really dope. I really, really like that idea.
They are following mythology that makes sense with the actual gods' mythology in real world. And it's not just one mythology, it's every mythology that exists in our world, in reality, because obviously the author said, I gotta look these gods up, and I'll just pick my favorite from different mythologies. Greek mythology, because that is my favorite mythology, so I know Hephaestus. Hephaestus was a grumpy old man that liked to be on his own. But in Danmachi, she is a very cool and beautiful woman. And Hephaestus is the smith or creator of weapons for gods. And so her being a weapons creator, a smith, so her familia is based off of that. And they run businesses on making and creating armor and weapons for adventurers. So if you want to do that and become a smith, then you join the Hephaestus familia. And then there's other familias that prefer to be more on the adventuring side, and some that create medicines. And it just depends on the person.
But in Danmachi, if you want to be a badass, you join the Loki familia. They are a group of badasses. They're like the strongest familia in the entire freaking anime. They got freaking they got
Eyes.
They got eyes. Our
Obviously.
main girl, best girl eyes.
Or are you talking about the captain? The
Oh, they got a little short
opposite
guy.
of a lowly is called a Shota, which in this case is our boy Finn.
Yeah, he's like, I'm pretty sure he's like ridiculously OP. They just haven't shown like his full like strength. But I'm pretty sure he's the strongest one.
And they do mention that the Loki familia are probably the strongest adventuring familia. But of course, the best familia to join would be the Hestia familia. If you know Greek mythology, then you know that Zeus and Hestia are family, right? So Zeus' family, he had siblings who were all eaten by their father. Now, the father ate them in order of their birth. Hestia was the first sibling born, so Hestia was eaten first. But when Zeus saved them and he cut them out of their father's belly, they were born the opposite. So they aged the opposite, and Hestia was the firstborn naturally. So she was the first eaten. So when she was cut out, she was the last one to come out. So she is technically the youngest of Zeus's siblings. So that's why in the anime, it makes sense that she is the smallest, a lowly, because she was born technically last after being cut open from the belly. This is just a great adaptation from mythology to anime.
Now, the voice acting in this anime is like freaking S tier voice acting. Bell Kun's voice actor, what's his name?
His name is Yoshitsugu Matsuoka.
Yeah, he's great because of the way he just controls Bell's voice, especially when he's in like tough situations. You're always gonna hear his. It makes me laugh. It's so freaking great.
So you heard gasping,
yeah,
but when Bell gasps, that's basically his gasp.
and don't ask me why I can do it so well. I don't know. It's just me. Okay,
It's just called talent, guys.
it's called talent. Please, guys, I'm sorry. Anyways, and then with our best girl Hestia, her voice actor is
You know what I mean to say. So if you love Rem and ReZero, you gonna love Hestia. You know what I mean to say? Does such a great job with voicing Hestia because it's tricky. Because again, in anime, I kind of hate this when they do this, but when a girl is a lowly, usually they have that childlike voice, high-pitched voice. Hestia is supposed to be more like an older sister type. So, you know what I mean to say, did a great job at voicing her as a more mature person, because even though she is very fun and whimsical and joyful all the time, she does have a lot of energy. So she does have the childlike tenacity. But overall, when it comes to her familia, she is more like a mother than any other god out there.
yeah, and then you can definitely see like the love that she has for every member of her familia, and she deeply cares about them. It's so beautiful to watch in the anime. I'm just like, I cry a lot. I cry.
Just like Bell, our boy Bell cries a lot. So if you
He
hate
does.
So if you hate protagonists that cry a lot, like this boy's just growing. He came from the boonies, so he does tend to show his emotions a lot because he never learned or had someone to help him control it. So here, it's just a bunch of tear works everywhere. So if you get annoyed by that, just know that no, he doesn't get better. He does not get better.
He does not
Just
get
know
better.
there are sweet moments. There are very sweet moments, and it's always helpful because it helps him grow. You just let it out sometimes, you know. Like
So
this guy.
yeah, so with this is an anime in which you can clearly see the character progression of the main character, and you can clearly see that he's growing each season of the anime, and it's fantastic. It's just like he's constantly getting better and stronger as an adventurer, but also as a human being with his emotion and how he deals with them. He also does get progressively better, but he still cries.
Speaking of seasons, there's 3 seasons, right, guys? This is the first season. This is the limited edition first season. Shout out to Sentai Filmworks.
Like $200.
But if you buy it Christmas on sale, 70% 50% off, guys. There are two anime protagonists that I could say that I consider the true essence of a hero. Number one, Deku from My Hero Academia. And number two, Bell from, well, Bell's not here, Bell's there. Bell from Danmachi. Why? Because here's the thing. When you're watching an anime, there's plenty of protagonists that you can say, that's my favorite. Let me give you a big example. The biggest example that I could give you is Goku. Now, Goku, honestly, when I started watching anime, heck, even for years, I considered Goku to be the top hero. But let me tell you this, guys. If you were to choose Captain America's side or Iron Man, and you would say, who's cooler? Captain America or Iron Man? The cooler one, I would probably say Iron Man. Not only because he self-sacrificed himself, right? But his character is much more human than Captain America. Captain America is that clean Boy Scout. And because he's steroid up, he's very inhumane. And the biggest flaw,
What did he say? He's like, everything that's special about you came from a bottle. It's like, dude, bro, he roasted him, dude. Oh, bro, that was a good scene. That was shout out my boy.
Now, again, Iron Man is actually probably more popular than Captain America, I would say, in the MCU. Because Iron Man has so much flaws. He breaks down like a human should break down when he has so much pressure on him. Captain America almost seems perfect. And this is why it's the Civil War happens, right? Because they're so opposite, polar opposites, even if they were working together. Now, let's cut that chase. Now, back to anime. Now, you get to decide what you find in a hero. And all I'm here is to say is that if you watch Danmachi, just watch, again, there's 3 seasons, so watch Bell's journey for each of these 3 seasons, and you'll see his character growth. Because for me, the best thing about My Hero Academia and Danmachi is that their morality gets questioned, and they have to actually question themselves. Is this what I want to become? Is this who I want to be? Is this what it means to be a hero? And like season 2, best. Season 2, when the new introduction of another girl, she is a prostitute. What happens when someone of that job needs to be saved, or he wants to save her, but she doesn't want to be saved? And then people tell him, like, she's a prostitute. You don't rescue a prostitute. She's made her choice. And then Bill questions himself, like, but is that right? Shouldn't everybody be saved? And just little questions like that that make characters morally question themselves is great. Not every anime does it. Did Goku decide, hey, wife, I'm gonna leave and train this kid. You take care of our real kids. And then he just up and left.
Yeah, bro.
Is that a hero, guys?
Is that who you really want to look up to? A guy that just leaves his kids to go fight?
When I say who's a hero and who's the best character in anime series, I'm looking at their character, not because of their power. Vegeta loses a lot, but Vegeta actually raised his kid.
Yep, he raised his kid, and is like that. He is more. he has more character development in Dragon Ball Z than freaking Goku ever has.
And Goku started it.
Freaking Goku
this
started.
This is Goku's story, and Vegeta is much of a better character than Goku.
I don't care for all you power scalers out there. You need to get that crap out of here. I don't care about your power scaling. This is all about character and character development. That's what really counts. That's the good stuff.
So when we say that this is our favorite character, this is the best character, we're talking about their actual characteristics, as humanely as they can be put. Not someone who's just OP and cool with their powers. That is everywhere. One punch, you know? If you watch Danmachi, and if you take anything from our rant right now, is just, I want you to start thinking of who is your favorite character, but by their actual character.
Not just who, but why are they your favorite character? Like, what about them? It's some critical thinking time for you anime fans out there. Why is your favorite character your favorite character? What about them makes them special? Or what about them makes them stand out so much that you call them your favorite character? So,
and if for some reason Goku is your favorite character and you just heard us bash him, then honestly, guy, or girl, doesn't matter. Think about it. Think about it.
Really think about it. But if you still, after thinking about it and then listening to us kind of just bash on Goku, because it's pretty terrible. You know, and if you still think Goku's your favorite character, well, all respect to you. Cool. We're not here to change your mind. We're just saying what we think about it. So, but you know, do yourself a favor and, you know, really think about it.
But honestly, most likely, if Goku is your favorite character and that will not change your mind, then have categories then. Goku is probably the coolest character, and I will agree with you. Goku is probably one of the coolest characters. He has cool powers. Beerus and him punched and broke reality. Him and Broly punched and broke reality. Come on. That is pretty freaking cool.
Honestly, yeah, that's pretty
cool. So, yeah, if I'm talking about strongest characters, I'm talking about one of the coolest characters I've ever seen, Goku's gonna be on that list. But when I talk about my favorite character of all time in anime, no, he's out that window.
I mean, you do have to give it to him when they have to replay a Kamehameha like 3 times. That's pretty cool, my guy. Like,
that was a cool moment. That's it. That's a coolness category. Goku's in there. But no.
Yeah, so to you Dragon Ball fans, sorry, not sorry. Okay, and with that, guys, comes to the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Go watch Danmachi, a super dope fantasy story, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Out.
Yo, so we cleared out. We were about to stop until we remembered that we keep forgetting to say where you can watch this anime. We always say we will do it. For the last 2 videos, we haven't. So you can watch Danmachi on Netflix, but just the first season. On Hulu, all seasons. On Crunchyroll, all seasons, but only subs. And on High Dive. And also, I forgot to mention, if you saw in the corner and you couldn't read it, there is a spin-off series with just starring Eyes, which is called Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Sword Oratoria, mainly focusing on the adventures of the Loki familia, with Eyes as the protagonist.
So actually Amazon Prime has this one. So JT has it in Blu-ray form because JT, but Amazon Prime has this one only. They don't have the rest of the seasons, just this one. So if you want to watch that one, Amazon Prime is where you'd find that.
Speaking of heroes, let's support yours and mine. Eric?
The animators. Guys, let's try and support all the animators that are working hard to create the anime that we do watch. So starting from this video onwards, we're going to be leaving a link in the description below to a GoFundMe that they're starting in Japan for up-and-coming animators or animators in general, in which the money that you donate goes to support an apartment complex / dormitories in which animators can stay in and also have their bills covered by this dormitory, because they get paid ridiculously low amounts of money to do what they do.
About $1 is the average. Mm-hmm. For newcomers of animators that are trying to get into the anime business, which is why it's such a hard business to start off in, because they just get paid about that average, $1.
It's really, really low. So let's try and do our part. Also, along with that, we'll still be leaving the description, the links to the mental health websites that you can visit if you're having any issues or need someone to talk to, because you know, you'll never know what somebody might be going through. So we'll leave that there. We try our best to help. You know, we see our heroes in anime, so let's try our best to try to be a hero for somebody in any way, shape, or form that we can.
In any minute possible way, you know, at least try to support each other.
All right, guys. See you next time.
Yatta-san, yo-yo-san. Bro, the feels.
Like happiness?
No, sadness. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Feels, right?
Don't
Those
hurt
feels.
me. No more.